Q4 is almost over, and I'm sure we're all dealing with the madness of either a lot of orders coming in, which is a great problem to have, or just a bunch of customer complaints and messages and just a bunch of things that you're doing, not only in your business, but in your personal life as well. This is a very busy time of year. But do not forget that come January, if we don't prepare new listings in our shops, we may see crickets. We may have no sales in January and wonder why this happened. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the top 5 niches that you can be working on right now in your shops during the month of December to prepare to make sales in January and February. Now, I will say that this is advice on what you should be working on about the next couple weeks to a month. But after that, it might be too late to design for some of these niches. There's a couple in here that you can definitely work on starting January and even into February, which I will mention in the video. But I highly recommend that after watching this video, you choose one of these major niches that I'm going to go over and really focus on it for the next 2 weeks to about a month in your shop if you want to see sales come January and February. If you're new around here, hi, my name is Ariel and I am a print-on-demand Etsy seller. I have been selling on Etsy since 2023 and I was able to quit my job in January of 2025 and I have been doing this full-time this year, and I teach everything that I know how to scale your shop to a 6-figure shop in my videos. So if this is something that interests you, I would really appreciate you hitting that little bell notification. That way you get more videos like this from me so I can really help you grow your shop. All right, but without further ado, let's go ahead and go over these top 5 niches that I recommend anyone designing in during the month of December and in the beginning of January. So first up on our list, we have Valentine's Day and / Galentine's Day. This is a big holiday coming up, everybody knows, in February. So February 14th is Valentine's Day. We want to be creating designs about 8 to 12 weeks ahead of time. So this is definitely the perfect time to be working on your Valentine's Day designs and Galentine's Day designs, especially because the Galentine niche, you can make multiple sales in one order because they are ordering for groups. So I highly recommend getting into that niche. But just Valentine's Day in general, you can also cross niche with whatever is already selling in your shop. So for example, say that you are in the nurse niche and you've gotten some sales in the nurse niche, then adding a Valentine's Day twist to it can continue your sales come February or come January and February. Next up, we have Black History Month. So this is the month of February as well. So people are going to be buying this in January and even some late December. So I would recommend, if you're going to be in this niche, definitely working on it now through maybe the beginning of January, because after that, it may be a little hard to get sales. But this is the perfect time to really go hard and add some of these designs in your shop. Again, this is another great niche where if you already are selling in another niche, say mom, and you want to target the Black History Month, so you could do like a Black History shirt for a Black mom. So you can cross niche it and still be making sales in a niche that you are already in. Next on the list, we have Mardi Gras. This is on Tuesday, February 17th. So now in December is the perfect time to be adding these types of designs to your shop. Again, another niche that you can definitely cross niche or even niche down. If you already have certain niches selling well for you right now, you can add a Mardi Gras spin to it. Maybe it is a like I said, the same example, like a mom, but it's a mom that loves to celebrate Mardi Gras, you can make a Mama Mardi Gras shirt or sweatshirt. So there are definitely several ways that you can add these niches to what's already working for you in your shop. The fourth niche I have on my list is the Bachelorette niche. Now, this one doesn't have a specific cutoff date, in my opinion, but when I did Google when the highest search Bachelorette shirts are on Etsy during the calendar year, it actually says starting in March is when it really peaks, and it goes all the way through August. Those are the peak times, but it does say that it does start to even pick up in January. So this is just a really good niche to be in all year round. I would say this is a pretty big niche to get into. So if you're already selling stuff in your shop that is similar, like you're in the wedding niche or you're in the like girls trip niche, maybe consider adding bachelorette designs to your shop. I will say that I have broken into this niche a few times in the few years that I've been on Etsy, but I do notice that I had to put in quite a few listings to break into this niche. I think it took about 100 to 200 really high quality listings to be able to start making sales in this niche. So if you're going to get into this niche, which is super profitable, I just recommend that you really focus on it and you really put out a lot of listings, because if you're only going to put out a handful of bachelorette listings, the odds are it's going to be pretty hard to make sales in this niche. But I will say, since this is a niche that is good, that sells well all throughout the year, it is definitely worth getting into and continuing to add to your shop. All right, and last but not least, we have the Evergreen niche. I don't know if this is necessarily a niche, but I put it down because Evergreen is basically something that can sell throughout the entire year. And January, a lot of Evergreen stuff tends to sell. So, good examples of an Evergreen niche or just Evergreen listings are going to be things like the family niche, the hobbies niche, the professions niche. And these designs aren't tied to any specific season or holiday and can definitely sell throughout the year. So some of the examples that I put here on this page were like the mama design with flowers that could definitely sell at any time of the year. Social worker, it's another design that is floral. I put a lot of floral designs on here because it just sells really well on Etsy and sells all throughout the year. It's not a specific season or trend that could die. So, yeah, just think about putting some evergreen designs in your shop so that come January, your shop isn't just crickets, especially if you designed heavy for holidays and your shop only has mostly holiday designs. There's a very high chance that you are not going to see very many sales in January. So it's good to put out evergreen designs. But this is also something that you can work on all throughout the year to make you sales throughout the year and you're not relying on a very specific holiday or season. I hope this video helped you guys decide what you want to design for coming up in January. I highly recommend that even if you are busy right now during the month of December, really doing your best to still add listings to your shop so that it doesn't die in January. Even if you can only list 1 or 2 new listings a day, I highly recommend trying to stay consistent and adding at least one of these 5 niches in your shop. I would recommend, like I said in the beginning of the video, probably only adding one of these categories or focusing on one of these categories. Because if you try to attack all 5 of these really large niches that I recommended, you're kind of going to be all over the place and you may not be able to break into one niche. So I would pick one of these to start and really focus on it for the next 2 weeks to about a month. And then I would say the only 2 that you can continue working on throughout the rest of the year would be Bachelorette or the Evergreen niche, which can be whatever's working for you in your shop, whether it be hobbies, professions, the mom niche, anything that can sell year round would be a great idea to continue working on after December and January. If you haven't gotten very many sales in your shop or you were even disappointed with Q4, the great news about Etsy is that all of us are constantly having to prepare for what's coming up next in the next 6 to 12 weeks, or I would say 8 to 12 weeks. And so if you feel behind, that's okay. As long as you're preparing for what's next, you can turn your shop around at any point as long as you put in the work and stay consistent. So I believe in you guys. Go out, make some listings. Even if you're busy, just try to do like one listing today, or just try to give yourself a goal for the week or a daily goal just to stay consistent so that your shop continues to grow next year. Lastly, it's time for our weekly wins. My weekly win is I'm just very proud of myself that I got through this crazy week, because this is the craziest week on Etsy in the entire year for most sellers. I would say December, like the week before Christmas, is usually when you're going to get the most customer messages, complaints, shipping issues, you name it. It's pretty hectic, especially if you're making sales in your shop at this point, which I am. So it was a bit hectic, and I was very grateful that I had my employee helping me, but I still did have to train her on how to respond to certain messages. So I'm just very proud of myself for staying calm this Q4 and handling each issue in a professional way and not letting it affect me personally. It's really hard when you get customers that are just super angry, especially if it's something that's out of your control. It can really affect your mood and affect how you feel about yourself and your shop, and it can be just a spiral of like negative emotions. And I remember my first Q4 and actually last Q4, I had a couple breakdowns from some pretty mean customers and from some shipping issues that I just didn't know how to handle. And so I'm just very, very proud of myself for handling it much better this year. And I feel like my mental health is a lot better knowing that going into it, just knowing that those things were going to happen and that I'm just going to handle it the best that I can and be there for the customers how I would want someone to be there for me. So yeah, that's my weekly win. And I really hope that you guys put down your weekly wins in the comments. I love hearing about any sort of win. It can be small, big, it can be related to Etsy or not. It's just important in life to celebrate things that we did right or celebrate things that were positive during the week, because a lot of people tend to focus on the negative, and that one, it could be like one negative thing happens and our brain just focuses only on the negative, and there could have been like 5 positive things that happened that week and our brain is just focused on the negative. So I think it's a good practice to try to think back on your week and find a weekly win and be very proud of yourself and stay in a positive mindset. This business, I talk about it all the time on my channel. This business is mostly mindset and just being positive and staying focused, and that is usually what helps me get through things. I hope you all are having a wonderful week, a wonderful Q4, and just remember, if this is a stressful time, it's going to pass. Stay calm, take a breath, and try to think of something positive to help you through it. And just remember that if you're staying in that negative headspace, that's only ruining your day, and it's just not worth it. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, or just a wonderful holiday season, whatever you celebrate, and just enjoy this time with your family. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.